Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome to another Minecraft video on the AlphaCraft server. Right, before we get stuck into today's episode, I just want to give a shout out and a really big thank you to Rosebin, who's become my newest patron. So thank you very much, Rosebin. I really do appreciate your support. It's fantastic. I really am overwhelmed. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start today with a little experiment then. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of water in there. I don't want to build them all because they take so long to build. Don't want to build them all only to find out that they don't work very well. So what I've done, I've put some lava at the bottom in one of the kill chambers. And I've put a little bit of lava down the bottom as well, down here. And I'll show you what happens when if and when the Guardians decide to come down. So what I'm going to do now is get up to the top. I've got some rockets and I've got some elytra thanks to Smurf. I've got to put mending on it. I've got to put all kinds of unbreaking on it and everything else. But at the moment it's wearing out quite quickly. But thank you, Smurf, for doing that for me. Really do appreciate it. So if I stick 3 buckets of water on these 3 blocks, that should flood quite a lot of this top floor. If I then dig out the dirt at the top, the water's then going to flow down into the chamber, and hopefully then we're going to start getting some Guardians in there, and I can see just how well this is working. Oh, we are starting to get some. Fantastic. I was really concerned then for a second. Let's have a shifty down there then, see what's going on. Oh, and look at that. That's just with a couple. Just with a couple of buckets of water. They're already starting to fall down. Look at that. That's fantastic. Now, what you've got to imagine as well, once all of the water is filled, oh, that is brilliant. It's exactly what I wanted it to look like. Right, so when the water source block's at the bottom, it's going to bubble as well on the magma, so that's going to bubble. I'm going to have to fill those up with source blocks of water, so I'll have to get in there with a bit of ice. Oh, I'm chuffed, thrilled. Right, hopefully the kill chamber's working down here. Let me get out my sword just in case. Oh yeah, look. Oh, don't go whacking me. How do I get down there? Bit concerned now. Oh, I can get down there. Right, so I've lowered this down a little bit, a couple of levels, and all the Guardians are going to come through there. They come down a chute in the corner there. I wanted them to come across the corner. I wanted them to go in a diagonal over to the centre, but that caused me so much grief. I just couldn't do it, so I finished up having one line out. One line will run down there and across there, and then that corner will run across there and through across the middle into there. That corner along the back and up there, you know, it's just going to have, you know what's going to happen, But look at that, this is with a quarter of that cylinder working. Oh, I am chuffed to pieces. I'm gobsmacked. I knew it was going to work. I just didn't realise how good it was going to work and how good it was going to look. Look at that. I've got to get back up here again and have another look at it. It's fantastic. We're going to have 4 of these on the go. All right, you're going to have to stand here, because there are going to be cylinders in all 4 corners, so you are going to have to stand here to look at it, but it looks brilliant. And the salt, once, as I say, once it's all filled up and it's bubbling, that is going to look like something straight out of Frankenstein's laboratory. It's going to be brilliant. Right, I've got to get back up there now with some dirt and fill it all back in again. Because obviously I can't have it running while I'm doing all the work down there. So I just wanted to bring you in and show you. I hope you're as excited as I am, because I think that's fantastic. Okay, so now we know the Guardian farm's going to work. We are going to need a lot of fence gates. So it's back to the tree farm to get this working. Right, I've done a little bit of work since you were last here. I've had to move this forward. So now we're going to have to move that piston over this way a little. I'm hoping it'll be okay. Shall we test it? Test to make sure it still works. I've had to shift it forward because I need to plant my trees on the dirt block there, and then a sticky piston is going to pull the wood back onto this row here, and then another piston here is going to push it this way. So I need to be stood on that block there. So hopefully this is going to be okay. 5 of those. Have I just broke that with the wrong pick? I didn't think I had, but maybe I have. Okay, so we can still break them, but not as... Oh yeah, maybe it's okay. I've had to turn the... Yeah, no, that's fine. I've had to turn the sound off, the mob sound off, because for 100 blocks around here, all you can hear is Boo. And I tell you what, that over and over and over and over and over is hard work, Boo. I love you, but listening to you whining is hard work. So one in there, one in there, one in there. That's all working fine. I'm happy about that. I hate testing something, then having to move it, even if we've only got to move it a block, only to find that it stops working. So that's brilliant. So we need a pressure plate on here. Redstone there, and then a couple of repeaters. One there, one there. As I say, this is old school. In the past, I'd have just put a dispenser there for some bone meal, and then I'd have had an observer on top of it. But for some reason now, for quite a few snapshots now, the observer doesn't detect a tree growing. There's no reason why it shouldn't, but it doesn't. And Mojang yet haven't fixed it. With everything that everything else they've had going on, they've just obviously not had time to do that yet. But how this works is, first of all, you get a sapling, which I don't have. So you've got a sapling there. I'm sure you've seen this before. Stand on this, and this is going to do two things. It's going to fire a dispenser on a really quick clock, which is going to fire a dispenser of bone meal onto the sapling. Once it's grown, it's then going to form a solid block, and which will power that repeater, which in turn is going to power some sticky pistons and some normal pistons. Now, this is not going to be a full-on tutorial. I'm not going to do all of, the old full tutorial malarkey, but I'll just lob a couple down to start with. So once this tree has grown there, this is going to power a monostable circuit, a sticky piston with a block on it, which is going to send a pulse around to these pistons first, 5 pistons here. They're going to quickly extend and retract, pulling that block over to there. Bearing in mind now there are 5 of them, and then a couple of ticks later it's going to fire this piston, which is going to push these blocks this way. And then I'll plant another sapling, it'll bone meal the sapling. When it grows, same thing will happen again, and it'll push them all down to the end. And once they get down to the end, I'm probably going to stick some kind of observer to detect that they're down here, and that will fire the mechanism 5 times. Anyway, I'm going to throw down a bit of stuff because I like throwing down a bit of stuff, and you can have a look when I've done it. Okay, so I've put a little bit of redstone in. I've got the 5 pistons. I've got the 5 sticky pistons here. I've got the 5 normal pistons there. I've got a bit of a redstone tower going up here. So when I stand on the pressure plate, the signal is going to go through the sticky piston monostable circuit there, which is the pulse limiter, really. Then it's going to come around here, go up this tree, firing all of the sticky pistons first because they're just on a standard 1 tick. Or no tick, basically, because there's no repeater. So those will fire first. And then there's a 2-tick repeater going into the normal pistons, which is going to just delay it slightly. And therefore, when the tree grows, it gets pulled back by the sticky pistons and pushed along by the normal piston. Fabulous. Now I need to stick in the dispenser. I keep knocking out all of my lights as well. It's only a matter of time before something bad spawns in here and starts beating me up. Only a matter of time. Now I need to put in a dispenser here, which I'm sure I don't have. Of course I don't have it. Right. Back in a minute. Right, so I've got the dispenser in now, and obviously we don't want that clicking all the time. I really don't want to be messing about with levers or buttons or stuff like that. So pressure plates are fantastic, and 2 birds with 1 stone. So while I'm stood on the pressure plate, the comparator clock is ticking. Therefore, the bone meal will be dispensing, but it'll only be dispensing while there's a sapling there. As soon as that's grown into a tree, obviously it'll be pulled away. But if there's nothing there, then it's not going to be firing bone meal, so you're not going to be wasting it. So I think that's that sorted out. Have I got some bone meal? Just make sure this works. I thought I'd got some bone meal in my... There you go. I haven't got a lot to start with. Throw that in there. I've got a sapling, have I, in my wood box? Got a sapling. I need to put some stone 7 blocks above here because I don't want these going any higher. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't want these growing any higher than 5 blocks. Look at that. Worked a treat there. You see that? Because any higher and it's going to break. Got my sapling. Everything's working. There you go. Look at that. Yes, I'm covered in leaves and everything else, but that was a 4. That's interesting. Do I have to put the block another 1 higher, do you think? Shall we give it another go? I love it when a plan comes together. The leaves are going to go everywhere, so I'm probably going to mess about putting hoppers on the floor in order to catch saplings. And obviously I can't have stuff growing there, otherwise... Brilliant. But it's just putting signs down is going to stop that from happening. How many did that grow? How high did that grow? That grew 4 as well. Looks like I might have to put the block 1 higher. Okay, why did that not grow? Can't think why that didn't grow. I'm sure there's a reason, but obviously I need more bone meal. That went through a stack and a bit of bone meal. I've got 2 trees. I'm going to need a Skelly Farm PDQ, aren't I? Right, so my next job now then is I need... I can't be lobbing down saplings into there and having them grow quicker than this mechanism can push leaves that way. So I suppose, and this needs to fire 5 times, so this needs to be on some kind of I don't know, is it a T flip-flop, some kind of clock around here. So I'm going to use a couple of hoppers. So if I have a couple of hoppers pointing into each other, I've got water behind the back of here as well. I've found as well, because of how water flows, if you've got redstone everywhere and you're digging through walls and you think there might be water behind there, put a hole in the floor, because water will always flow to the nearest hole to flow downwards before it spreads out, as long as it's within sort of 8 blocks or so. So I've just gone through the wall. If I hadn't have got that there, it would have flown, it would have destroyed all of this, but I put my little hole down in the floor, little safety mechanism. So if you're digging through walls under the water, stick a hole in the floor. That could save you a lot of heartache, as it did there. So if I'm going to have to fill that hole back in again now. So if I stick down a comparator, I've got a full inventory again, full of rubbish. So if I do that and then stick an item in here, that might just work. And that's actually that's a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Have I got a switch to turn this off before it drives everybody crazy? That could work. Let's put some wood in there. So it gets pushed down here, pushed down here, pushed down here. It goes into here. And then we need this to fire 5 times, don't we? Oh, that's not going to work, because we don't have this hooked up yet. Let me just get rid of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Just for the time being. That couldn't have worked any better. That worked like an absolute charm. I expected it to get stuck. After messing about with the timings there, I mean, I eyeballed it so it looked like it was firing at the right time. If that piston was out when they were trying to push down, they wouldn't push, and if they were down when that piston was trying to push, that wouldn't push either. But it looks like I've got it spot on. Oh, that's perfect. So now we need this on another clock that only fires it for as many seconds as it takes to fire 5 to push 5 logs. So that's going to be the old standard etho hopper clock kind of thing over here. So let me knock a clock to once it's finished, once it's working, I'll get it all tidied up and get it condensed down. But for now, I just need to get it working. Superb. Let me make a little clock, a little hopper clock, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I quickly knocked up a basic etho hopper clock. It's slightly different in the fact that this won't run continuously, because I've replaced the sticky piston that would normally be there with a standard piston. It will fire once and then it will need another input to fire again. So hopefully, have I got anything in there? If I stick a block in there, it'll stay locked because it's powered. and we'll get a signal from over there. Once this fires, we'll get a signal to come over here, which will fire this block here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, so that's slightly too many. So what do we reckon? Try 10. 10 items in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Nearly. 8. Try 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Brilliant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. So now, if we take a pulse from over here, can I do this? Have I got the equipment? I don't have the equipment. Scrap that. So once this receives a, I can't do it. I can do it, can't I? I can do it because I can just stick a block in there. So, assuming we've got bone meal in there, planting the tree grows into a, the sapling grows into a tree. Ooh, what happened there? Was that? Oh, if it's too quick. If it's too quick, it doesn't give this time to reset. It's only 8 balls of goo in there as well, and it doesn't give it time to reset. Okay, well, that's something to think about if that causes me a problem. So now it's coming together. This is all coming together. All I need now is a skelly farm. It's a shame Smurf lives a million miles away. He's got a decent skelly farm. Let me pick that up. Let me pick that up. Oh, no, again. Look, I got myself a slime head earlier on. I'm dead chuffed with myself. Got myself a slime head. Let's get rid of some of that. Pick that up. So now what I need to do is hook this piston up so it works at the same rate that this does. That shouldn't be too difficult. I should just be able to run a line of redstone around the back. Yeah, if I run a line of redstone behind the back of here. Yeah. Dig this out. And we need to give it a delay, so I'm messing with the delays. I'm gonna mess with the settings in a minute. We can always do that in a second. So we need it to fire when that one's not firing. That fires, then that fires. So what kind of delays on that? 4 on that. Oh, let's have a look. The easiest way to do it is just to have a look, isn't it? That looks about right. That looks very good indeed. Let me fill it full of wood, and then we'll have a proper look. Oh, what's gone on there then? Oh, it's because I did that, didn't I? I activated that and moved this piston up one. Yeah, got me all concerned, that did. I thought it was broken. Hoping it's not broken. Okie dokie, pig in a pokey. Oh, there was a bit of a... Don't know what that was. What caused that to do that? Lag? I'm going to blame lag. that on 2. Now you see it's... Okay, try 3. If I'd have been clever, I'd have built this in my creative world before doing this, but no, not me. I wonder if having the lag there at all is causing me a problem. Maybe get rid of that altogether. See what happens there. Did that work like a charm or what? Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I've got to move this over here anyway, haven't I? I said I was going to do it. I haven't done it. Stop messing about. What happens? Ooh, I wonder. I'm going to stick some more blocks in there actually. See what happens when there are already blocks in the system. Now that worked fine, didn't it? That worked fine. That worked fantastic actually. Brilliant. I couldn't be any more chuffed with that. Right now... now I need to go and dig myself out some bone meal. I think. Smurf! But I'm afraid all that's going to have to wait until the next episode. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we've run out of time again. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to leave it a like. And if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future videos. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.